Hey guys, welcome back to FoolCraft 3. It's been a couple of days. I had another power outage, and whenever I was bringing the game back up, it just didn't want to play. It kept saying that I was using a unmodified, unsupported version of the game, and I eventually figured it out, looking through some online forums and things, and reading through other people having the similar issues. But I got it fixed, and also I went ahead and increased the amount of RAM allocated to the game by a bit, so it'll stop doing the random lag hanging up every so often, because I figured out it was just the RAM capping out and having to stop and dump a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so I'm over here at the mob farm. I was just going to show you guys how it's working after the last episode that I had it started. So there's not a lot in here, but I've got these storage crates. Each of them are filtered and prioritized above the chest here for the most common drops out of here. So I'm going to start on this end. We've got arrows, bones, string, gunpowder, okay, rotten flesh, ender pearls. Plenty of those now. And then anything else goes into here. These potions I'm leaving in there. I was taking the potions out because they don't stack and they fill up this chest pretty quick. Those are all going outside in here with the records. So yeah, tons of potions. If I need a health or regen potion for anything, it's in there. Anyway, turn that overlay off again. I was running around doing some caving for meteors, but we'll get around to that later. This episode, we're going to get back into the Thaumcraft a little bit. Not that I ever really stopped doing the Thaumcraft. It's always kind of on the back burner. So let's get back up to a normal height here. Don't have to be sneaking around with any conduits or anything. So, did slight redesign here. Moved the bookshelves into the wall there. There was a bed on top just for decoration. It's in a chest somewhere. My alchemy setup, the crucible and the nitor and the everflowing urn have moved. We're going to find those in a minute. Let's go down here. This got a very slight redesign. It might not even be apparent at first, but I made it so that the walls are an odd number instead of an even number. So instead of 10 across, it's now 11 across. From this corner to that corner, it's 11 that way instead of 10, and 11 that way instead of 10. And that's so that I can have a center block here. Instead of a 2x2, it's a 3x3 in the middle, because we are going to put our infusion altar in this room with all of the jars here, full of essentia. Also, all of the jars are now void jars, so that if they get full and are trying to be overfulled, it'll just delete the extra, because I don't need that much. Like Potentia, pretty close to full. I can probably empty some of that into files. The Herba ends up being rather full all the time. I've got a bunch of that in files. And the Bestia, same deal. I've got a bunch of that emptied out. Yeah, those are the more common. Metallum, pretty common. Terra, I'm getting everywhere. I had a lot more of the air essentia in here. It was probably in the 150 to 200 range. But I accidentally shift right clicked the jar and emptied it. So yeah, there's a little bit of flux around here, but it's not at the level of being dangerous quite yet. But anyway, I made them all void jars because of the setup I've got here. I moved the smeltery over from this side to here and backed it up one space so I can put the arcane bellows on the front. It's not really in the way of coming down the stairs here. I've got one alembic on the top. I took off the extra slurry pumps from the side, and I have an auxiliary venting port on the side that's kind of covered by the wall here, just kind of hidden out of the way. So it's helping and it's hidden. Also on the front, I've got a filling Essentia Transfuser. So what this does, it's like a wireless routing node for your Essentia to jars nearby within 16 blocks. And it's got to be connected to an alembic, as far as I know. So anything that gets broken down in this smeltery goes up into the alembic and is filtered through the transfuser into whichever jar is appropriate for the Essentia. And it looks kind of cool as long as your particles are on. Let's grab just a piece of paper, I guess. It should... Yeah, it's got a couple of different ones. I might have turned my particles off. Yeah. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let's go and turn these back on. And do that again. Yep, so there's the armor aspect heading to the jar. It probably didn't get the others. What's in this? Sure, go in there. Doing this does create a little bit of flux each time. Yeah, so there goes the Tenebrae over there. Lux that way. And the other one was Census, which is over there. It may not have played the animation for it. 28, I don't remember how much I had. But anyway, so that's kind of cool. And this is a very compact setup. I'm probably going to get another filter for this side because it's a smaller piece and it won't get in the way of the stairway here. I usually don't walk right against this block anyway because of the corner. I usually come out a little bit, so yeah, that's not going to be in the way too bad. Not as much as a full block here. Just a little piece on the side. But yeah, it just automatically puts everything in the jars. I don't have to run around with files and jars and clicking on stuff. Yeah, a little bit more streamlined. But I don't want to use it a whole lot until we deal with the flux in the area. Like, what I've done here is probably too much. But, yeah. Anyway, that's that. Side note, the Caster's Gauntlet. I figured out how to get the focus out of it. You shift right-click. Wait, no. Shift F. There we go. Shift and then the F key for focus. Yeah. That removes the focus from the gauntlet. And if you have a pouch, it will go in there. So I've got the Fire Touch and just a blank one. I was trying to replace the one in it with the blank one, but it won't let you put a blank one in there. So, yeah, that was just me messing around with that. And this goes on your belt bobble slot, so you don't have to worry about losing it. It's always on your person. But yeah, I had to use this gauntlet a whole lot as a wrench, because it's basically a wrench for the Essentia tubes. What else was I going to talk about in here? I need to grab that. The Runic Matrix we're going to be setting up later. Oh, I remember. Yeah, let's grab one Perdito essence. Or crystal. Alright, so let me show you where this stuff went. We are going to run down to the Nether real quick. Ignore anything you saw over there. I didn't get to record yesterday or the day before. Day before yesterday, I got the pack working again. After streaming about 8 hours of Fallout 4 on Twitch. I did a little bit of bug testing and troubleshooting. And then I had to leave and come back to it. Okay, just double checking I didn't have anything in there. But after a bit of streaming, I got back into it, and the next morning got it all working again. And then have been running around doing a lot of other stuff in the pack, getting set up for things. Anyway, so here is the Workbench and the Crucible I moved into here. One of the main reasons I came down to the Nether to do a little bit of work is because the Nether doesn't have any flux. And it's easy to just jump in here and do a bunch of stuff and then leave later. Now, you can actually get flux in the Nether. If you look here, I've got 5.2 in this chunk over here. And it's also building back up a little bit because I've been making all those void jars. So it's a little bit depleted, but it's not bad. Void jars are just this easy. You get your warded jar and a Praecantatio crystal. And it uses 43 if you've got the same setup I have here with the goggles and the whole outfit. Uses 43 per jar. I usually put the goggles in the bauble slot just because they don't lose durability there, but they still function. Anyway, yeah, so next thing we're going to talk about is, hey, do you guys have trouble getting the Praecantatio, I think it's called, aspect? This one with the purple, like, magic wand looking thing? I found out how to get it really, really easy with just stone and crystals. Any kind of crystal, doesn't matter. Whatever you've got laying around. Here's how easy this is. Alright, look at this. You take any crystal, doesn't matter. I'm using Terra because I have a whole lot of them. And you put stone around it, right? That makes your Arcane Stone. Pull those. Get your Arcane Stone. Those are still just Terra, like just from default. It doesn't matter what crystal you use, they are Terra because they're stone. Those make Arcane Stone slabs. Take those. Again, still just Terra. You get 6 of the slabs from every 3 stones. So basically, it's 3 pieces of stone plus 1 in the middle. So you're using 4 pieces of stone to get this Arcane Pedestal. Oh look, suddenly you've got air and Praecantatio. Huh. Just for no reason, just because we're going to use a little bit of this. Yeah, 8. No big deal. We're going to get 8 total aspect other than the Terra out of this. So yeah, that makes these Arcane Pedestals. I found out these had that essence in it and how easy they are to make just by looking in the JEI entry. But yeah, it's really stupid easy to get that. Any crystal, every 1 crystal, you can make 2 sets of these. Just about. Let's do one more. Well, let's see. It takes 4 stone. Every time you use a crystal and regular stone, you get 8 Arcane Stone, correct? So yes, every 1 crystal gives you 2 pedestals. So you get 10 Praecantatio, 6 air, and 12 Terra from 1 crystal. Every 1 crystal that you use. But anyway, after you get these, you have to break them down into the Essentia. I've just been using the pedestal on the Crucible here. Just drop 2 in, toss a stack of slivers, and there we go. Oh, it's Praecantatio, my bad. Yeah, Praecantatio. That's the one. Praecantatio is the exchange. Like, where is it? This one, yeah, from copper. You get that out of copper. And the funny thing is that the aspect says exchange and barter, but if you look, emeralds aren't in here, even though they are the, like, barter item in the game for villagers. No emerald, anything. It's all copper. Anyway, but yeah, that's how easy that is to get. And this is why I came to the Nether, because, well, these, I'm surprised even work here. The urn works with the water. Like, it doesn't evaporate immediately in the Nether. The Crucible holds the water. It doesn't evaporate immediately. And then the Flux, the only reason I've got the 5.2 is because I emptied a jar in here, just testing to see if it would create Flux at all, and it did. It probably won't go any higher than 5.2 because I'm being rather careful about it. But, yeah. Figured I'd let you guys know the little trick about the how to get that out of stone, because that makes it really easy to get for any of your research that requires it. You can take these pedestals and drop them in the smeltery, in the Arcane Smeltery, to get the essentia out that aren't crystals, but I'm doing the crystals because they're easy to transport and carry around. But to each his own. Also, yes, 2 or more ever full urns fill the crucible faster if they're nearby, so I made a second one, just so that all the extra crystals can be formed faster, and it doesn't just like wait for the water to fill up and do one at a time. And that way we don't lose any of the essentia in here. Alright, last round of these, if they'll go in. There we go. So I used 1 Terra crystal, and I got back 24. I did have a couple of those pedestals in my inventory already, but still, you get a lot. It's a lot of return for 1 crystal. Anyway, I actually need 4 of these pedestals for the infuser, so I'm gonna leave these here for later, like so, and come back later to make those. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to talk about this episode. Just a slightly short episode. We're only 4 minutes short. 3 minutes short. Figured I'd let you guys know that trick, talk about the gauntlet, mention the mob forum because I got a couple of questions about that. Yeah, I actually got a few messages that were like, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, why don't you do that? And I was like, well, I was already there. I made the thing. I built it. It works. I will upgrade it later. One of the things I want to upgrade the mob farm with, speaking of which, is... Oh, hey, crystal farming. When did that get unlocked? One of the things I want to put in the mob farm is the liquid death here, but researching this gives you some warp, and I don't want to deal with warp yet. Yeah, we'll get around to getting the warp research whenever I have the spa built, which is somewhere. Artifice? Arcane Levitator. Where's the spa? It's in here somewhere. Infusion? Yeah, it's probably not Goldomancy. Anyway, there's a spa that gets rid of your, ooh, Flux cleanup. Yes. Closing Flux rifts. Awesome. I didn't know these unlocked. I would have started working on that one. Missing Vis battery research. I'm going to assume that's an Artifice. The Essentia mirrors and Magic mirrors are good for transporting Essentia around. Advanced crossbow, arcane boar, Vis power generator. It may be near that. Anyway, yeah, I'll get into doing all this later. But yeah, whenever I get to spa and some way to clean up the flux and get rid of warp, then I'll get into all those, no problem. But yeah, a little bit of rambling, and now we're at 20 minutes. 19 and 20 seconds, but close enough. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. I will get another episode out probably today, here in just a minute. So if you're watching this one the day it's uploaded, there's going to be another one right behind it. Yeah. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Until next episode, I will see you then. Have a good day.